The first message isn't on Aria's phone. It's carved into her apartment door. Stay sweet or stay silent. Her keys rattle in her fist. The hallway light sputters like a warning that arrived too late. And the letters gleam like a knife that learned to spell. She breathes through the metallic taste and backs away, snapping a photo before unlocking the door. Inside, she grips a half-broken umbrella by the shoe rack, not as a charm, but as a cheap spear. The place smells like rain and lily from yesterday's sympathy bouquet at work. She locks the deadbolt twice and checks the windows. No forced entry. The fridge hums like a witness refusing to testify. In the living room, the mirror throws her a pale copy of herself, 28. Soft-shelled but stubborn. A research assistant who keeps getting told she's lucky to be here while doing the work that supports everyone else's titles. Her cat, Mint, chirps and winds around her ankles. A bell with fur. Aria opens messages and types. Someone carved a threat into my door. She sends the photo to her best friend, Lena. Dots appear, vanish, reappear. Lena, I'm calling. Aria silences the ring. She doesn't want noise. She wants sequence. She makes a list in her head document, breathe, hydrate, plan, because lists feel like railings on a stairwell that sometimes slopes. Who would do this? Dr. Kravitz, her pie, adores her data but hates her questions. Miles, her ex, loves the aesthetics of kindness and none of the maintenance. Or someone from the internet, because last week her short recruitment video for a study on envy and moral superiority went mini-viral on a true crime psychology channel. She asked strangers to describe when they started hating someone too kind. The comments were a landfill of confessions and warnings. One participant, subject 17, ended with, "You think you're safe because you're good. Good doesn't save you. Silence does." She opens her laptop and pulls up notes. In dark psychology, envy spikes when kindness threatens a fragile self-story. The target's empathy becomes a mirror that exposes emptiness. If my empathy threatens someone who pretends to love me, their mask cracks around my boundaries. She types, underlining boundaries until the word looks like a bruise. She files an online police report. The form asks for the terrifying blank box. Describe the incident. She writes plainly. A confirmation number appears. She prints it and tapes it to the fridge with a Fox magnet. Underneath she writes, "I get to be loud." The building group chat dings. Anybody else get something weird tonight? A neighbor posts a shaky video of the stairwell, salt scattered in a circle. Another uploads a photo of a shredded teddy bear left on a doormat. The thread blooms with fear disguised as jokes. The super promises to check cameras in the morning. Aria types please, tonight, then deletes it. She knows his habit. Every emergency is an appointment he reschedules. She sets water to boil. Mint butts her shin. Aria pours tea and adds honey like a ritual against corrosion. At the little table she writes the dark psychology of hidden enemies at the top of a page and lists suspects. Kravitz, Miles, subject 17. She circles 17 and adds, felt personal. The kettle ticks as it cools. The hallway pops. She does her therapist's grounding drill. 5 things you see: steam, mug, cracked tile, fern, mint. 4 you feel: shirt seam, chair edge, whiskers, breath. 3 you hear: fridge, rain, radiators. 2 you smell: honey, lily. 1 you taste: metal. Naming things drags her mind away from catastrophe rehearsals. Midnight limps toward the windows. She should sleep, but sleep often pretends to be a trapdoor. Tomorrow she must present new findings to Kravitz and request authorship credit larger than a sigh. Terrible timing or perfect. Fear loves silence. Leverage loves light. She thumbs open the velvet pouch on her sill. Inside is her father's thin library ring, now on a chain. He used to say, "Speak softly, but don't edit the truth." She fastens the chain at her collarbone. Armor that looks like jewelry. Lena texts again. Need me there? Aria types, I'm okay. Documenting. She adds, I printed the thread and put it in the freezer. My brain needs the metaphor of cold. Lena replies with knives and hearts angry for you with you. Rain fattens against the glass. Aria wedges the umbrella by the bed, like a lighthouse on its side. I am not here to stay sweet or silent, she whispers. I am here to stay honest and alive. The words feel brave and borrowed, and she keeps them anyway. Somewhere a camera blinks red, pretending to watch. Mint curls at her knees. When sleep finally arrives, it isn't a fall. It's a post at the door, standing watch with her. Morning arrives with a tired bruise of sky and a calendar alert that refuses to reschedule itself. Lab meeting. 10 am. Aria dresses like a thesis tidy, precise, stubborn, and walks through wet streets with her notebook zipped tight. In the elevator, she practices the sentence she kept choking on last time. I am requesting first authorship due to original design and data analysis. My name belongs on the title page, not the footnotes. Mint's fur still clings to her sleeve. A small witness rides with her. To Kravitz's office is a shrine to grants and certificates. He smiles with thin teeth. Aria, you look awake. He gestures to the conference table. The lab sits in cautious silence, mugs and laptops forming a border. Aria presents her findings. How envy toward empaths is covert. How performers of love punish the genuinely kind when boundaries threaten control. How moral licensing lets aggressors feel righteous while harming their target. She shows clean graphs, not dramatic ones. Kravitz nods, then slides a printed draft toward her. Author list. His name, 2 senior postdocs, and in small font Aria. I appreciate the opportunity, she says, and her voice surprises her by not shaking. But this is my design and analysis. I'm requesting first authorship. The room stiffens. Kravitz's smile cracks. You're young, he says. Be patient. We'll get you on the next big one. She lifts the printed threat photo from her folder and places it on top of the draft. The room inhales. Someone carved this into my door last night, she says evenly. I'm not in the mood to be erased. Kravitz blinks. That's unrelated. So is respect? She asks. A postdoc coughs. Another stares at their coffee. Kravitz says, fine. Go first. Alphabetical. It's a compromise, which tastes like old pennies, but it's on paper. She nods once, takes the marked draft, and leaves before her legs can argue. On the sidewalk, Lena calls. Report? Go first, Aria says. Not sweet, not silent. Lena cheers into the wind. Then Lena's voice lowers. You got another DM, from an account that looks like a burner. You allowed for someone so easy to cut down. Aria's stomach pulls tight. Lock it. Screenshot first. She keeps walking. She decides to stop letting strangers evaluate her pulse dot at the corner. She passes a store window of knives displayed like a choir. She catches her reflection. Weary eyes, ring chain, mouth practicing courage. Her phone buzzes again. The building's super. Cameras caught someone in a hoodie on your floor around dusk. Can't see the face. Police have the file. Another text follows from an unknown number. Do you feel important yet? She stops, breath hitching. Then she opens the note app and writes her therapist's favorite trio. Body, story, choice. Body, trembling hands. Story, a stranger wants my silence. Choice, tell Lena, forward to police, and go home with a friend. She and Lena meet at a crowded cafe where coffee smells like clean beginnings. They pick a corner. You're the softest person I know, Lena says, which is not the same as safe. Aria nods. Empathy is not consent. Kindness is not compliance. Boundaries are not betrayal. She repeats the phrases until they feel like teeth she can use. Together, they forward the messages and plan a quiet protocol. Aria will change the lock, add a door camera, record a 2-minute video if anything happens, and never go dark online without telling someone why. When Aria returns to her building that evening, a small white envelope waits under her door. Her chest tightens. She holds the umbrella like a spear and films with her phone while picking it up. Inside, a thin card, block letters pressed hard. "I see you. Sweet girls break clean." For a second, she can't breathe. Then anger threads itself through her fear like steel through silk. She places the card in a plastic bag, logs it, and texts the detective who handled her report. Another message. Video attached. The reply is instant. Do not engage. Will be there. Night swings down like a slow door. Aria sits on the floor beside. Mint and practice is the only power she has in the waiting. Narrative control. She opens her spiral and writes the headline she wants to survive. Empath refuses to play dead. Beneath it, she lists her truths. I am not alone. My voice is a lockpick. My fear is information, not a prophecy. She tapes the list above the mirror. When she looks up, she sees herself framed with language loud enough to drown the threat's echo. She's still shaking, still human, but the quake has rhythm now, which means she can move with it. Detective Arman meets her in the hall at noon with another officer and a portable camera kit. He's middle-aged, patient, and looks like he's read too many bad endings to trust a calm hallway. "We've pulled footage," he says. "Hood up, mask on, height about 5'10". We'll canvas. Meanwhile, keep documenting. And don't minimize." He says the last part softly, like he's learned it costs less to say aloud. At work, the lab runs on caffeine and haste. Kravitz avoids her eyes. A senior postdoc, Maya, slips Aria a granola bar and whispers, "Good job today." It lands like a small medal. Aria spends the afternoon cleaning code, running sensitivity analyses, and drafting the paragraph that will make the paper sing without letting it lie. The burner texts don't stop. "You are noise. You're not built for this. Sweet girls break clean." Her phone pings. She forwards each message to the detective and to Lena, because fear loses calories when it's shared. That night, she cannot stop pacing. She watches videos about covert narcissism, envy scripts, and moral injury, not to diagnose the sender, but to sharpen her map. She writes in her spiral, "When empathy threatens control, the insecure punish the mirror." She underlines mirror and draws a crack through it. Mint bats the pen and blinks up at her, unimpressed with human villains. A voice memo arrives from an unknown number. 30 seconds of silence, then a whisper. "Do you feel important now?" Aria's skin prickles. She forwards, blocks, breathes. She reminds herself that threat people depend on silence compliance. She refuses to provide it. She records a calm 2-minute video and texts it to Lena. "If I go dark, send this to the detective and the super immediately." Lena replies with a voice note. "Proud of you. Also, I bought pepper spray." And a ridiculous personal alarm that screams like a kettle on fire. Saturday, Aria leads a small online support circle for empaths who keep getting punished for kindness with boundaries. She doesn't call it therapy. She calls it making a room where we're not the problem. A teacher says her boyfriend calls her performative for wanting apologies. A nurse says she's tired of being told she's too sensitive for noticing pain. Aria listens and offers simple tools. Name the tactic. Repeat your boundary. Exit if the room refuses your reality. Afterward, she feels both emptied and refilled. Helping reminds her she exists beyond being haunted. When she returns from a quick grocery run, another envelope waits under her door, no return address, the same block handwriting. The card inside is worse, a Polaroid of her door taken from inches away. Her stomach flips. Armin, she texts. New card photo of my door. He replies instantly. We're escalating patrols. Consider staying with a friend. Aria wants to leave, but leaving feels like letting the sender shrink her world. She decides on a middle path. Lena will sleep over. They'll set the alarm, wedge a chair under the knob, and cook loud pasta as if sound can age the night faster. Lena arrives with a duffel and 2 ridiculous sequin pillows. Defense by glitter, she says. They cook, talk, laugh with their shoulders. Midnight brings a siren and a kind of stillness that teaches you every noise your building knows how to make. At 2 a.m., someone tries her doorknob. The chair moans. Aria's lungs clamp. She hits record. Lena whispers, I've got the alarm. Another jiggle. Then retreating steps. Aria and Lena stand there, listening to their own hearts slam like shoes in a dryer. Armin reviews the clip in the morning. We caught a partial profile from the stair camera, he says. We're cross-checking. Do you know anyone with a limp? Aria thinks of Kravitz's jogging habit, of Miles's soccer injury, of Subject 17's vague bioline warehouse job, night shifts. The thought scalds. She realizes she doesn't want to be right about anyone. She wants to be safe. She showers with the bathroom door open and the alarm on the rug. She's tired of living like a museum of catastrophes. She writes a public post for the same channel that boosted her study. Why Empaths Attract Hidden Enemies. Dark Psychology. 3 tactics to spot and stop covert punishment. She films with steady voice and honest eyes. By evening, the video is climbing. The comments are a mosaic of gratitude, skepticism, and courage. One says, I left him tonight after your words. Another says, thank you for naming what no one believed. A chilling one says, silence isn't safety. It's strategy. Aria pins it with a note. Strategy belongs to the threatened, not the threat. Sunday evening, the patrol car idles near the corner like a promise. Aria and Lena eat takeout on the couch while Mint supervises. The door camera sends a soft chime motion detected. Aria checks the feed. A figure in a hoodie moves down the hall, then hesitates. The camera catches the jawline, the scar near the mouth, the slight drag of the left foot. Lena whispers, pause, zoom. Aria's chest empties. Miles, she says, voice flat with shock. The figure turns toward the lens and flips it the smallest, ugliest salute. He walks away. Aria's phone rings before she can call. Detective Armin, we think we have an ID. Your ex, Miles Arden. Prior complaint for harassment dismissed last year. We're en route. Aria's breath hits a wall, then finds a door. Copy, she says. She forwards the clip and begins narrating out loud, not for the camera, for herself. Body, shaking. Story, someone I loved wants me small. Choice, stay loud, stay smart, stay with witnesses. Lena squeezes her hand until both sets of knuckles remember blood. The knock, when it comes, is a chorus police, firm, professional. Miles is pulled from the stairwell, 2 floors down, hands up, disdain all over his face. I was checking on her, he lies easily. Armin's partner lifts an evidence bag with another white envelope inside. With this? She asks. Miles shrugs, the move of a man who thinks shrugging is a personality. Armin looks at Aria. We'll file charges. You'll get a protective order. You did everything right. Everything right still shakes. After they go, Aria sits on the floor and lets the truth move through her like weather. She had loved someone who preferred her sweet and silent, who confused empathy with obedience, who couldn't bear her boundaries because they made him feel small. She wanted a different past. She chooses a different future. She records a private message she won't send. I hope you learn to feel without punishing. I will feel without letting you near me again. Days blur into necessary chores, paperwork, statements, sleep. The video she posted keeps spreading. Messages arrive from strangers in the dark. Your words named my house. I thought I was crazy. Thank you for teaching me to narrate my body, my story, my choice. Aria realizes that her research wasn't just data. It was a map she had been secretly drawing for herself. Kravitz forwards an email from the journal. Conditional acceptance pending revisions. He writes, "Good work, co-first author." She doesn't grin. She allows a small, sovereign smile. She messages the support circle. The paper's in. The police stepped up. The mask fell. Replies land like porch lights, steady, warm, awake. That night, alone for the first time since the arrest, Aria opens all the windows an inch and listens to the city breathe. She places the Fox magnet beside the freezer list and adds 2 new lines in thick ink. Empathy is not consent. Kindness is not compliance. Then she adds the one she needed most. My voice is not negotiable. She looks at herself in the mirror, framed by taped truths, and for the first time in months, she doesn't flinch. She takes out the velvet pouch, holds the ring on its chain, and tells the room, I will not be sweet or silent to survive. I will be honest to live. She thinks about every empath who has been told their light is a threat, and every hidden enemy who tried to turn that light inward until it burned. She lights a small candle and sets it near the door. A ritual of refusal and return. If this story left a mark on your chest, if you've been punished for being kind, if you've been told to be sweet and silent when your instincts scream no, subscribe for more dark psychology storytelling. Share this with someone who needs language for their boundary. And comment 1 line you'll tape to your mirror tonight. Your voice might be the light someone follows out. If this hit a nerve, don't go quiet. Subscribe for more dark psychology stories. Share this with someone whose kindness keeps getting punished. And drop a comment with 1 boundary you're keeping loudly.